friends. This is Smithfield Foods CEO Dennis Organ bringing you a very deeply concerning public service announcement today. It has come to our attention that the animal rights terrorist network, Direct Action Everywhere, has escalated their fundraising efforts in addition to escalating many of their other terrorist activities. And in particular today, we've got word that all donations to Direct Action Everywhere are being matched by a generous donor. And this is a group, need I remind you all, of the work that they're doing, but one aspect is that they generally have very minimal resources in terms of financial resources, and they rely on the work of passionate people who support the work that they're doing, but the funding that they have is very minimal, and then they're able to make a huge impact on us. So with just the very minimal funding that this group has, they're able to make an outsized impact on a negative impact on Smithfield Foods. And so I think it's very important that we push back against this. And so I'm here today to urge you: do not donate to Direct Action Everywhere. Do not go to dxe.io/timeisnow. Any donations there made today before midnight will be matched by a generous donor. And I think at a time like this, it's really important for us to highlight the negative impacts of a group like DXE. And so let's jump right into it here. What is it that Direct Action Everywhere is taking from us all? From people like me, as the CEO of Smithfield Foods, and from Smithfield Foods itself, the esteemed political apparatus in this country has deemed corporations to be people, and I think that the behavior of Direct Action Everywhere is in flagrant disregard of the feelings of this person, of Smithfield Foods. They just clearly have no no contemplation, no reflection for the harm that they're doing to Smithfield Foods. And so what is it that DXE is looking to take away from you? Now, first and foremost, they're looking to take away your meat. Of course they are. And I, for one, I'm a deeply insecure person, and I have a deep void within myself, and I find meaning in this world from harming others, from inflicting harm upon animals, and furthermore to hoard as much personal wealth as I can. And so that's really part and parcel to DXE's very dangerous MO. What else is DXE trying to take away from us? The spread of COVID-19. And I'm sure many of you are aware that Smithfield's facilities, Smithfield slaughterhouses throughout the country have served as hotspots to spread this outbreak. And what has been the result of that? I think it's very important that we look at that. These outbreaks have led to the spread of COVID-19, yes, and they've led to people staying home, spending time with their families, their loved ones. There's a lot of quality time. How much time have you spent indoors with the people you live with this year relative to last year? I think we can all say it's a lot more. And bottom line, DXE hates families, and we need to speak up about that. We need to be honest about that. What else is DXE taking from us? Well, brewing the next pandemic. And I think that this is something that really is overlooked. And so for all the reasons that all the upsides of spreading the current pandemic and allowing us to spend more time in with our loved ones, I say everything you loved about 2020, let's make it happen in 2021, 2022, and onward for the future, whatever future there is left of the human race and really all life on Earth. Environmental devastation. Now, on the surface, of course, you look at, you hear something like devastation and you think this must be, very hazardous. We're talking about polluting airways. We're talking about polluting waterways. But, what's interesting to me is that a lot of these folks, a lot of these DXE folks and a lot of these activist types support organizations that are environmental advocates. Well, what happens if there's no environmental pollution? Do you want to put those environmental organizations out of business? Do you want to take the jobs away from people who are who are doing this work that you say you stand for. So I think it's really hypocritical, and I think that the activist community and the global community really should be thankful for the work that Smithfield Foods does, because it directly translates into job security for not only these animal rights activists, but the environmental activist folks as well. And once again, I think that these are some of the silenced voices and the silenced victims of this domestic terrorism that the DXE is so aggressively engaged in. Escalating climate change. Now, I don't know if any of you have been to Canada. I don't know if you've been to Greenland, to some of these areas where there's colder climates. It's cold up there, and I, for one, I think that nobody's looking at the upsides here. So when we're emitting massive amounts of greenhouse gases, massive amounts of methane into the atmosphere, everybody's saying, well, sure, there's some areas that are hot, and there might be some negative impacts, but we need to look at, the glass is half full too on this one. So I think it's really important that we, and once again, we're directly looking, in the interest of job security, of these environmental groups, these folks that, on the surface of it, we might be at odds with, but we need to support that, and we need to support jobs and hardworking Americans. Mental health issues. Now, there's another one I can certainly understand. On the surface, it's like we should try to diminish mental health issues in this country, like the mental health issues that are happening inside of Smithfield facilities. When people are abusing animals, they're hurting the animals on the surface of it. They're also hurting themselves. They're also damaging their soul. But what kind of society are we going to be when people don't have these obstacles to overcome, and people don't have to overcome these mental health issues? My wife, all right, I walk into the living room half the time. My wife, she's got some Lifetime movie on, or she's got some feel-good story, about how people have went through such horrible mental, domestic abuse situations and all sorts of trauma, and they rise above it. Dr. Phil, our good friend, and they rise above it and they recover, and it's this very inspiring story. But if you don't have an issue to start with, how can you recover from it? There's like a meme. Don't the kids have a meme where it's like a guy and he points, he's like, you can't have a recovery from mental health issues if you don't have mental health issues to begin with. Once again, overlooked. Who's talking about this? Who's talking about the upside of mental health issues? Sure as heck ain't DXE, and it really is nobody. And that's why it's so important that we're having this conversation. It's why I'm so appreciative of you all tuning in here today. By the way, we will be taking your questions and answering them full on, because we're committed to transparency. What else is DXE threatening to take away from us? Animal abuse, of course. Of course, that's what they say, right? They're telling you that they're going to stop all this animal abuse. Once again, I think completely breezing over what are the unintended consequences of stopping the so-called animal abuse. People like myself. There are a lot of people in this country who feel a deep emptiness inside of themselves, and they want to fill that void, and they don't know of anything else other than inflicting harm upon others, dominating others, and causing a lot of deep pain, and that's one of those things where is DXE caring about the people, like the legal person that is Smithfield Food, and people who fill the void, have some way of numbing the pain through causing animal abuse. I don't think DXE is thinking about those folks at all. And now this one here. All right, Dan. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this character. Matt Johnson is his name. And this in particular. So DXE, in some cases, are stealing our identities. Our core essence of who we are. You might have seen this thing. Big old press grab, of course. Matt Johnson got on TV and he was acting like he was me. He was acting like he was Dennis Organ, the CEO of Smithfield Foods, and spreading their information. So reckless disregard. I mean, what are the unintended consequences here? We have someone like Matt Johnson that's just out there, just going for it, and it's deeply painful. And I've spoken to the legal person that is Smithfield Foods. We had a beer together last night, and Smithfield Foods is in deep pain due to what DXE's up to, DXE's activities. And so Smithfield Foods, I took my good friend, the person that is Smithfield Foods, and laid him down, and I covered him up with a blanket, and I tucked him into bed, and I patted him on his corporate person forehead, and I gave him a cup of hot tea, and I told him that everything's going to be okay because we're going to push back against this. So once again, and we do want to take your questions here, but I just really want to emphasize, do not donate to DXE today at dxe.io/timeisnow. And I want you all to share this live stream to get the word out. Do not donate to DXE. Tell all your friends, please share this live stream. Urge your friends, do not donate to DXE at dxe.io/timesnow. Please share this live stream far and wide. They're getting a lot of attention and causing a lot of deep pain to Smithfield Foods. So we're gonna take some questions here, and I see there's some laughing reactions, which is really unfortunate. We're seeing some laugh emojis and some sarcastic comments. It's, you know, frankly, it's hurtful, but it's not surprising to see this from the DXE types, showing flagrant disregard for the hurt feelings of Smithfield Foods, and of the wealthy executives at the top who derive, you know, some semblance of sense of meaning from torturing animals and collecting, you know, excessive amounts of money that they'll never even can't fathom how they would spend. But do we have any other questions?
Yeah, Dennis, someone here on the live stream wants to know, how long ago was it that you sold your soul for the almighty dollar? What do you have to say? What do you have to say about that?
So this sounds like another, you know, DXE propagandist, and I'd invite that person to look back at, you know, just pull it back, you know, 5 minutes here and listen to, you know, open your mind to another perspective, because as we said, corporations are people too, and Smithfield Foods, the corporation, is actually back in the corner over there, crying his eyes out. Very sad. Smithfield Foods is right now. So we're selling a lot of things, but the soul of Smithfield Foods is not one of them.
It looks like a gentleman here by the name of Adam said that he donated twice this year already to DXE. How do you feel about that?
Wow. Well, folks, I invite you to check out this so-called Adam person. I think clearly with donating to DXE, this person is probably mentally unwell, probably needs some sort of an intervention. Very likely addicted to marijuana. There was probably demons probably in his midst. So I would say with caution. But I do encourage people to reach out and try to help these misled youths, such as our dear friend Adam.
Someone also said, "Get COVID, Dennis."
Get COVID. So are they? You know, I think they're saying for me personally to get COVID, and in fact that might be a good move in solidarity with so many of our workers who have themselves contracted COVID, and there's like a shared identity around it that I think can be really powerful for our Smithfield family. So I haven't had the experience yet, but as the new leader of the largest pork producer in the world, I'm open to interesting innovative ideas, and you know, perhaps I'll consider that. Thank you for the suggestion.
Someone here, Mary, says that you're a scam artist. What do you have to say about that? These accusations.
Yeah. So you know, if you're keeping a checklist at home, maybe Mary's another one that you might want to check into. Again, just seems to just bought in entirely to DXE's misinformation campaigns. You know, I mean the scam. You know, if you could feel within yourself the pain that again my dear friend Smithfield Foods, the corporate person that is now sprawled out on the floor and I believe has become intoxicated with alcohol and is now removing clothing inexplicably. There's certainly another side to this.
We have a question here from Emick that said, "Who made you think cruelty to animals is legal business? Why do you contribute to animal abuse?"
Yeah, so I would come back again to this the deep emptiness inside of myself, the deep emptiness that I think so many people feel, that they feel the need to. I mean, I think the torturing animals, as you mentioned, is one thing, but I would say furthermore, exploiting human beings to then force them to torture animals as well. It's when you have this pain deep inside, a deep void that you kind of need to fill it with anything, and some folks, such as myself, will turn to inflicting that kind of harm upon others, really just grasping for any way to numb that pain.
Someone wants to know how much you make.
Well, I think that you know, if you're talking about dollars and cents, I really don't think that there's a price you can put on looking out for just once again this almost godlike figure that is in a personified human form, a legal person that is Smithfield Foods. So whatever the dollars are, I tend to measure it in houses, but I think that there's a deeper purpose here, and that's kind of the focus of the work that we're doing here at Smithfield Foods. If you want to compare how much the revenue that Smithfield has relative to Direct Action Everywhere, it's well over 1,000 to 1, the amount of money that Smithfield is taking in compared to the amount of money that Direct Action Everywhere is taking in. And that's why it's so dangerous that DXE has this massive impact and is causing such inner turmoil within Smithfield with so minimal resources. So that is why once again, we are urging you today, do not donate to Direct Action Everywhere today at dxe.io/time is now. The donation itself is harmful enough, but now until midnight tonight, that donation will actually be doubled. So the impact, the negative impacts will be doubled of that. So absolutely, please do not. And please do share this live stream with others so that they can also hear this message. Do not donate to DXE today before midnight.
Jamie wants to know if you're sober.
Well, I think that as the new CEO of Smithfield Foods, I kind of live life. There's just an inherent high in sort of representing, in the pride that comes with representing our Smithfield family, and the once again I think goes along with the numbness that comes along, where I'm able to numb that pain through exploiting others in such a deep and troubling way.
Someone just said that they're donating to DXE in your honor, Dennis.
Oh God. Well, you know, and this sounds like another instance of perhaps identity theft. So if someone's, you know, going to think it's a funny joke, they're going to attach my name to funds to DXE. You know, it's painful, but frankly not surprising to see what the aspiring domestic terrorists are up to today.
We got another one. Emick says that she's donating as well.
Wow, that's deeply unfortunate, and please, if you're a religious person, please pray for our friend Emick this evening. Have her in your thoughts. That's all right, and that's the extent of it. Okay, well, folks, you know, just to bring it back here again today, if you do anything today, one thing, just please do not go to dxe.io/time is now and donate to Direct Action Everywhere. Once again, it's going to have double the negative consequences as otherwise, due to extremely troubled and misled donor to DXE that will be matching those donations. And we just, please share this live stream and get the word out there, because the harms the DXE is complicit in, you know, and we sort of touched on what it is the DXE is depriving us all of, and really you know, what would a world look like? What would we do with our time? What are we going to do with our time if we don't have pandemics to distract us, to take up all of our time and mental bandwidth? And if the environment is clean, how are we even going to occupy ourselves? And how will people who are deeply disturbed and want to cause harm to others, what are they going to do with themselves if we have a world where in fact we're not doing that sort of thing?
Someone, Jamie, wants to know if you're privileged.
Well, I do consider it a privilege to be, once again, a part of this Smithfield family, and you know, if it wasn't for Smithfield, I don't know what deeply troubled individuals and deeply insecure individuals like myself would do with ourselves. So I consider it to be in a position of so much power to inflict such deep devastation upon others, I guess, is a form of privilege. Although maybe not in the way the kids say it these days.
Another good question here from Linda. She said it's a new year. Does Smithfield have any New Year's resolutions?
Well, that's a great question. I think that first and foremost we need to really spread the truth and get the word out here about about this friend here. And it appears look at this is Matt Johnson here, and this is a piglet that he's saying he's rescuing, and I think that when you look at someone like him, like he's helping. He says he's going to assist this animal and give them this individual care, and and it makes us feel bad when we're the corporation that's responsible for harming individuals like that. So we really need to sort of even the scales with groups like DXC. I think that's our 2021 resolution. Thank you, Linda. Wait, is that no? Hang on a second. Now is that Linda Cridge? I think she might be one of these criminalized terrorists, in fact, that I've actually heard about. Now that you mention it, I've heard that name too. So if you're keeping a checklist at home, if anybody wants to get like a focus group going for some of these deeply troubled domestic terrorists, I would certainly keep Linda in your thoughts as well.
What do you think about this imposter that was on Fox News? What are your thoughts on that person? Yeah,
well, and then that's him right there too. And it's among the impositions, among the ways that DXC is just infringing upon society is to impersonate myself. And it's like there is a reason why DXC isn't just invited right on Fox News, and our political system and our media apparatus in this country is set up the way it is for a reason. And if DXC gets in the trenches and sells their soul for decades on end, maybe they'll be invited on Fox News straight away. But as it is right now, they have to resort to these kind of hijinks to do what they feel is necessary.
All right, and one more question here to wrap it up. I think this is a good one from Luminous. How do you plan to deal with these animal rights terrorists in 2021?
Yeah, well, I think awareness is the first step. So that's where we are right now. Letting you all know, is this the future we want? Do we want these phonies like Matt Johnson caring for animals? Do we want a society deprived of all of these functions? And I think that when people, a certain class of people, certainly wealthy corporate executives and deeply disturbed sociopaths hear that, they're going to look at this and they're going to firmly say, absolutely not. We don't want a society where so much is taken from us. So, all right, so folks, once again, I'm going to bring up the link here just so you know what to definitely not type into your URL and look up to make absolute sure. Even if you have like a slip, if you kind of are starting to type in something else and you end up accidentally typing that in, just please be very wary that you're not typing that in. Because even if you type it in once, then suddenly it's boosted in the SEO results and suddenly more people are going there. So worst thing you can possibly do right now would be to go the second worst thing you could do would be to go there, and the absolute worst thing would be to actually support DXC's work with a donation, which once again will be doubled, all donations until midnight tonight. So please, I am urging you to share this message and to encourage others to please not make those kind of contributions. Were there any other?
Can we be expecting any further broadcasts from you, Dennis?
Well, that's a good question. Now, me myself, I keep a low profile, and it was actually when Matt Johnson pulled his stunt last week, it was interesting because the host of that Fox Business show, Maria Bartiromo, she made a tweet the day prior, and she said, "Here's our guests on the show," and she tagged a whole bunch of people on Twitter. And when she went to tag myself, Dennis Organ, she found out that I don't have a Twitter account, and she just tagged Smithfield Foods. But due to the pervasive nature of the hostility that DXC and others have on social media, I tend to hide out. I tend to lay low. is actually, if you Google search it right now, you're going to find way more. It's way easier to find Matt Johnson speaking than even myself. Matt Johnson posing as me than myself. So I keep a low profile because the world unfortunately isn't there yet, and they don't really respond well to people who, once again, are trying to numb the deep void within themselves by causing mass devastation to others. So I'll keep a low profile. Unfortunately, for my expectations with Direct Action Everywhere and Matt Johnson, there's no reason to think that they're anywhere near stopping, but we're sure going to try.
Seb here wants to know if you eat your own products.
I'm a proud supporter of our Smithfield family in all the ways, and I try to support the business. We do a lot of consuming of the Smithfield products in our own home. We do a lot of giveaways, which is some effort to sort of push back. Clearly as a corporation, it's not as though we are doing anything other than the only thing that actually matters is money. But we'll give out products, we'll do giveaways to try to grab a few headlines here or there. But it really is just an absolute avalanche and a tidal wave coming at us in terms of the PR devastation inflicted upon once again Smithfield Foods as a corporate entity who's now punching himself in the face over there and sobbing in a complete mess. So my good friend Smithfield Foods, who is by our legal system defined as an actual person, is in deep pain, and please keep Smithfield Foods in your thoughts as we transition to this new year. All right, folks, please share this live stream, spread the word far and wide, and absolutely do not go to dxe.io/timeisnow and donate. You're going to have double the negative impact if you do that, because all contributions for the next few hours until midnight will be donated. Thank you so much, everyone, and take care of yourselves.